Hello again. Welcome, Michael Pizzola here. I'd like to welcome you to this edition of the Value Capping Rant. This is the 2011 Kentucky Derby edition, and I'm very excited to be talking to you today. Now, this is the video portion of a rant that I sent out by email, and I've also posted up on www.handicappinghorse-races.com. And if you're not getting them by email, these rants, by the way, you can just go to www.posttimedaily.com and sign up, and you'll get them in your email mailbox. I want to talk with you, and I did enough sermonizing in that written rant, so I promise I'm going to get right into the races and give you a bit of an idea of how I work on it and how I look at the various aspects of finding the very best of value plays from all of the hundreds of races that we have on Derby Day and every day. Well, not hundreds every day, but certainly 100 all over North America. And that is, I'd like to, before we begin, talk to you a little bit about your attention. And you know, we only have so much attention, and we need to conserve that, to husband it, to not scatter it over so many races that don't offer value. So we can focus on our attention on those handful of races that really have some good potential. Do we win all of those? Of course not. But the point is, not about picking winners. It's about finding good, and I mean really good value investments at thoroughbred racing. Now on Saturday, we have the 137th running of the Kentucky Derby. Look, there are 20 colts, 3-year-olds carrying 126 pounds, never gone a mile and a quarter. I don't know if the track is going to be sloppy, muddy, good. I don't know if Uncle Mo is in the race or not. There's so many unknowns. And as we open up Black Magic, the ultimate handicapping software, you'll see that, boy, it is a puzzle of a race. So I want to quickly take you through what Black Magic did with the Kentucky Derby and show you a little bit about how I look at the undercards, and if there's time, to look at the undercards from some of the other races that are running that day. So let's go and open up Black Magic Ultimate Handicapper. And I have the races open to Churchill Downs from May 7th. And you'll notice the heart and soul of Black Magic is the odds line. And unlike just giving you one odds line, really the key is that Black Magic looks at two different odds lines. One is looking at the races from a contrarian point of view, going back in horses' form cycles based on whether they are coming to a race or not, and comparing that with how the public should look at a race. So what we want is a horse that we like, in other words, where the Black Magic odds line is low, that the public should not like. So this line, called the contention line, is a best guesstimate of how the public should look at the race with very conventional eyes. I mean, using, speed ratings and class and, their recent form, very important. So in looking for a good value bet, we want a horse that we like that the public shouldn't. So let's get right to the Derby. Okay? And the first thing that we notice is that there are 11 horses above this random line. In other words, with 20 horses in the field, 19-1 is random. So we have all of these horses above the line. Now, it would be folly to use Black Magic Ultimate Handicapper software or any other software and just say, well, Arch is the top odds, so I'll just go bet that. No, you must look a little deeper, okay? So notice the top odds is 12-1. What does that mean? Let me do this It's got a 1 out of 13 chance of winning. That's 7.6, if my math is right. Around there, 7.6% chance of winning. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that's not a horse to love. Then we have 11 horses out of the 20 horses are above random. And look how tight this line is. 12 to 1, 13 to 1, 13 to 1, 14 to 1, 14 to 1. I mean, boy, oh boy, oh boy. If this were a normal day of racing, handicappers, and especially you value cappers, I would pass this race quicker than the blink of an eye. But I'm supposed to have an opinion about the Derby. I'm also, expected to, quote-unquote, handicap it. Well, I tried, and I mean it. I tried. First thing to notice, and Black Magic does this, see all these RWs, these show horses that have run against each other in their last race. There are 6 different reversal races. Now, I tried to parse these apart, and let me tell you, there's a lot. Let me show you. Here is a little mind map I did just of the reversals. You've got Brilliant Speed out of the Bluegrass, who beat Santiva and Twinspired. You've got Dialed In from the Florida Derby, who beat Sold Out, Shackleford, and Stay Thirsty. You've got Arch, who won the Arkansas Derby. Nero is coming out of that race. Animal Kingdom out of the Spiral Stakes. Don't know if Robbie is going to be riding that or not. Anyway, Decisive Moment came out of that race. Pants on Fire, winner of the Louisiana Derby. Mucho Macho Man, and Midnight Interlude, winner of the Santa Anita Derby, on top. Now, normally, there's one reversing race in a normal horse race, maybe 2. And I love to bet a horse that lost last time in the reversal. Why? They're under bet. No magic about it. They're under bet. And so often we can get an overlay. Now, just, that's very complicated. The other little mind map is when I was trying to keep track and put all my notes about these races. And let me tell you, there's so much going on in this race. And the numbers are so close, it would be a pass. Now, look, I'm human, so I'll probably take a shot at this race. How would I look at it? Well, Arch is, if you look at the way he won the Arkansas Derby last time, he closed from 7th to win. Now, I don't love a closing horse, and he did the same down in the Southwest at Oaklawn. I don't love a closing horse coming from the one post, especially in a 20-horse field. Similarly with Brilliant Speed, who's going to be a much higher price, who made that huge close in the Bluegrass. And ladies and gentlemen, that is racehorse time, even though it was done against a relatively slow pace of 114. But still, very, very fast. And then we've got Watch Me Go, who's got the opposite problem, who's going to be stuck out in the auxiliary gate in the 20 post. And yeah, boy, that's very tough. Does that mean I won't use him in exotics? Of course. Then we get down to an interesting horse called Derby Kitten. Derby Kitten just won the Lexington last time. Didn't look to get into the Derby because I think he was 30th or 31st in the earnings. And then through attrition and then through Toby's corner not running, he got into the race. In the 9-hole... he's 14 to 1 on my line, which means I'm going to have to get a huge price, but I probably will. Horse has done nothing wrong. Take a look at that late fraction. At a mile and a 16th at Keeneland, 142 to 112. Now, as opposed to Brilliant Speed, that's a pretty decent pace. So that comes to 29 and 4. And if you do the math, this is if you translate it into a quarter mile time, this is sub 23. Not even, Colonel Bradley would look for 24 second third fractions. This is a late fraction that is off the charts. And if you want to sort by late fraction, you can see that Derby Kitten and Brilliant Speed come right up there. So with all of this mess, I don't usually look at post positions and all of that stuff. I'm probably going to focus on, a small win, a win bet on Derby Kitten. Might, depending on the prices, have a little money on Brilliant Speed and Watch Me Go. I'm certainly going to have some trifecta boxes with Arch, Brilliant Speed, Watch Me Go, Derby Kitten. Don't know if I'll have either Midnight Interlude or Stay Thirsty. I think I'm going to prefer Stay Thirsty a little bit in the exotics. Twice the Appeal. You'll notice it's in bold. That's the fulcrum horse. They often show up in the exotics and often second. So I may have a trifecta with 1, 2, 29, and either the 15 or the 4. I haven't decided yet. With the 3, with the 1, 2, 29, and 4, let's say, and work it that way. There are a couple of horses that concern me a little bit. The first is Dialed In. Never like to see the morning line favorite so far down. And you may ask yourself why. Well, Black Magic does things in a contrarian way. But you can't overlook the fact that this horse is 3 for 4 lifetime and only lost 1 race by a half a length. Wow. Okay. So, yes, I will save with him. Uncle Mo, don't know if he's running yet. They're not going to make the decision until, shortly before the race. And Nero, who comes out of the same race as Arch. So what do you do with that? Well, I'm going to take Derby Kitten and use them in small exactas with those. If Brilliant Speed and Watch Me Go are humongous prices, yes, I'll take very small saver exactas with it. So handicappers, value cappers, friends, this is not a race that I want to get seriously involved with. So what do you do on Derby Day? Got to bet, right? Well, no, you don't. Okay. But I will be looking at some of the undercards. And Black Magic makes this very simple because you have this odds grid. And I'll just go down through it looking for... Now see, in this race, the top 2 horses in the second at Churchill that day, the 2 and the 4, heck, they're the 2 morning line favorites. I'm not so interested. Remember, price is not value, so I'm not going to go, well, Mr. Bristol is the 4th horse and he's 12 to 1 on the morning line, and it could be a price. No, I'm not interested because he doesn't have very good numbers. Here's another race with 8 horses above random. Why would I be interested in this? I might be interested in this horse at 15 to 1, second on the line, but it's 1 start after a layoff. Can there be an easier place? Here's another one with a bunch of horses above the line. Now, here's a race that caught my eye right away. Why? Well, first of all, there's only 6 horses above the line. And you notice there's a gap. 9 to 2, 5 to 1, 5 to 1, 5 to 1. And you see that gap between 5 to 1 and 8 to 1. So I'm going to be looking at those 4 horses. I notice that there's only 1 horse that might be a price. See, 8 to 1 on the contention line, 12 to 1 on the morning line. And that horse is the 7 early return. Notice also that both the 8 and the 3, 2 of the favorites, are off layoffs. Now, does that mean I never bet layoff horses? No, but I don't like to bet them when they're not, when they're favorites. The other thing that I notice is that the morning line favorite, Chamberlain Bridge, has been noted as a vulnerable favorite because he had a kind of a tough race after a layoff last time in the Shakertown, whatever that grade 3 race was. You see, he fought all the way to the stretch before giving up. Don't like to see a horse do that after a layoff. So I've got flaws in 3 of the morning line favorites. So this early return, if I get 9, 10 to 1 on it, sure, why not? So I'll put a little check mark in that. And that's the way I'll go through the undercards. And it makes handicapping very easy. See, in this race, the 7th race, I have, the best horse right on top. Well, Wizards, I've done it again. I've gone over my time. And if I don't end this video right now, it's going to be way over the time limit. So this will be the end of part 1. Please join me on part 2, where I'll finish the Churchill Downs undercard. I'll recap the Derby, and I'll see if we have time, and I don't push it too much, that we can look at some of the undercards. I'll see you soon. Until then, have fun on Derby Day, and let the bet make you.